So there's a lot of work that goes into that. Gina did a great job getting everything in order as well. So credit to them. Let me, real quick, because I know this is coming, there are two guys that I want to hit injury-wise, because I know you're going to ask anyway. So Pascal had sports hernia, essentially, version of sports hernia. So that's what he's working with. He's doing well, but it'll be a little bit, you know. But he's doing good, so he's progressing. But that's not why he's not out there. And then Romeo's doing well, but as you guys know, with Achilles, everybody heals a little differently and at different rates. He's progressing, but it's you know, he's on that trajectory. It's just not as steep, but he's doing well. So. Other than that, I know somebody's going to ask about Hard Knocks, right? That's the next one's coming up. Haven't had a ton of exposure 2 days, but they've been fine. They've been great. They're professionals, obviously, and they got a job to do, and we got a job to do. So, okay, I'll open it up.
Yeah, for year two, for you know, last year we entered, probably didn't know a lot what to expect, but for you, what would be a successful training camp for you? Like, if you have a goal, so what you want to accomplish throughout this training camp, what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of alluded to this this spring. I think it would be that that we get better in critical situations. That's where it's got to start, is practice, and feel like we've got composure, that we can function at a high rate, figure out the guys we can depend on in those situations, and come out of camp and feel really good about it, and know that when we need it in a critical, that offensively and defensively we've got the ammo and the right mindset to make the plays that we need to make. I think that's big for us. I really do.
Dan, this looks like a team that has a wide variance of expectations. Some people think you guys will be bottom five. Some people think you'll be the sleeper in the entire league. What do you tell your team about expectations? How do you handle that, the wide variance?
Yeah, we don't really talk about that. I mean, I don't talk about that. I think more than anything, it's just about our mindset and our demeanor. I think that's where it's got to start. So to me, that's what we preach about, man. I think I told the team last night, our identity and who we are and our foundation is all about grit, and that's physical and mental toughness, and that means taking it one day at a time. You know, that means going a little longer and pushing a little harder, thinking a little deeper, a little sharper, you know, those terms. And so I think that when we think that way and we just worry about what's in front of us, everything else it'll play itself out. So not worried about that, you know.
Yeah, Dan, how much further ahead is Jared going from having a year under his belt with this, you know, this offense, this system, coaching staff, and teammates, the whole thing?
Yeah, well, look, I would say he's more comfortable at this time than he was last year, and a lot of that has to do with what we've done offensively. I would say Ben Johnson has done a really good job, and his staff. You know, not only what we're doing, where we're going. Bringing in John Morton has been really good for us, who was at Vegas, but also we're doing a number of things that he did well at LA. So I think those will help him.
One other injury guy, Okuda, didn't put him on pup the other day. Just
He's good to go.
Yeah. How are you going to handle him, you know, early in the season still, since he is coming back from that? And just what have you seen from him so far in his rehab? Yeah,
listen, he's tell you what, he's committed, and he's in a good place right now. You know, we're going to get him some reps out there today, and I think it's just, man, if he looks good today, he's getting even more tomorrow, and if he looks good then day three he's but for the most part, we're not putting really any restrictions on him. You know, he's been good. I mean, you know, as a matter of fact, you know, we brought him in early just because of the injury. He was with the rookies in the report date. You know, you get the injured vets, you get the rookies, quarterbacks come in 3 days early, and I don't require those guys to be in football meetings or anything of that nature. And he wanted to be around, man. He wanted to, and that's, you know, it's a good sign. He wants as much knowledge as he can get, as much help, and he's committed. He's ready to go. I mean, he looks good.
You sense some urgency with him, you know, just.
Yeah, I do, you know, and look, he knows, nobody wants it more than he does, so, I mean, he's put in the work, he looks healthy, and I think, you know, at this point, all you can do now is go to work and show what you've got and see if you can continue to progress. Because, look, ultimately, that's the thing here, is he just hadn't got a ton of football under him because of the injury. So now that he's healthy, to be able to continue to develop, he was on a good trajectory before the injury happened last year. So we would anticipate that he'll pick back up where he left off and then some.
Dan, with your assessment with the roster all throughout the spring, where are you most confident that this football team has improved?
From spring? Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because there again, we're not in pads. So, I mean, of course, the skill positions, you're going to say that naturally because we don't have pads on. So, you know, I would say the receiver position, certainly, you know, I feel pretty good about the development in that room with those guys. You know, that would probably be the first thing I think of.
As camp kicks off, how much are you looking forward to, Dan? The second-year guys taking that jump. You talk all the time about that's sometimes the biggest leap in production, but seeing those guys like Amon-Ra and McNeil and Penne, all those guys that are going to play big pieces for your football team, how much are you looking forward to that kind of jump that you see with guys typically from first and second year?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're counting on it. We got to have it. I mean, if they don't make a jump, we're in trouble. That's the bottom line, because those guys are kind of our core and our foundation. I mean, St. Brown's got to be better. Sewell's got to be better, you know. Levi's got to be better. Mac's got to be better. Barnes has got to be better, because if they're not, we're not going to go anywhere. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it, and we're going to push them to be there and get there.
We'll just about the variance of, you know, expectations externally, right? You know, but internally, you told Peter King, you know, you guys are hoping to maybe be Rich Strike. You understand the SOL stuff, and you're hoping to. You're saying that maybe fuels you guys internally. What are your expectations as far as how far this team can go and how much you can kind of, you know, upset people's expectations, the lower expectations at least?
Look, I think for me and for those players, you know, I want them to know that I truly believe we have the right coaching staff, you know, and I do believe we got enough pieces in here to compete. I really do. And to me, when you're a coach, if you just want to know that you do have the pieces to be able to compete, and I do feel that way. And now it's up to us collectively to find a way to turn some of those losses from last year into wins. You know, you find a way to turn, to flip 5 or 6 of those games. All of a sudden, man, you're right there. And that to me is what this is about. You know, I think we have enough to compete, and now it's on us to find a way to close out those games. That's why, John, you asked that question. That's why, man, is in the criticals, can we find a way? Can we find a way to get a little bit better? Sorry, that was you, Eric. Can we find a way to get a little bit better and to pull off some of those wins? And no, it was you, John. But I know I'm kind of rambling, but like that to me that's what I think of. I really do. And so, you know, I can't put wins and losses on that. I just know that, man, I feel good about, all right, we got the pieces here to mix it up with just about anybody. Now it's on us to find a way to win.
You spoke about the coaching staff a little bit. How are you guys bringing along James? I mean, this is a totally new experience for him. We talked about the spring and he's at rookie mini camp and everything, but how do you guys keep him engaged, you know, in this training camp? You guys have a plan for him. How is he progressing as well?
Yeah, look, it's not, there again, this is day one, so we'll find out, but it's not, look, it's not easy. It's not easy to be, you know, when you're a player like him and what he's been and the type of athlete that he's been, he's never really had to deal with this, you know, and so this is new to him, and you know, it's not easy to look out there and all those guys are running around and he knows that, man, you know, he knows what he can do and what he's capable of, but he's just not there yet, and that can be frustrating, but we've got a plan for him. You know, he's working, he's progressing. And so I think it's big. The football is where he really, obviously, man, he's all in. He loves it. He eats it up. He knows what's going on. He's attentive in walkthroughs and meetings. And so I think he's got to start there. And that's the goal. That's the reach. That's where you're going for. But to get there, you're starting down here. So we got a plan, and there'll be some days that'll be rough. That's part of rehab too. It's not always easy, but he'll get there.
I'm sure we'll more guys.
We'll see it when you're out on the field, but can you just share some of the emotion inside you, as this thing gets rolling year 2, and obviously you're excited about what?
I'll probably be a lot more emotional when I get out there than I am right now, but yeah, it's exciting. I mean, all of that, even the spring, I'm glad those guys showed up. We're all happy as coaches to have them here, but it's not the same, and you're under restrictions, and no, not that we're in pads out there today, so, we can't just bury each other, but it's still, now the restrictions are off for the most part, and now we can get to the football. Everybody's committed. We're all in. It's one goal, and it's about getting better and getting ready for a season now. And it's not necessarily about, hey, let's get this working, get a little bit better. Now we got summer vacation. This is, what? Speaking of that, I would say this because I wanted to make a point of this. I was real proud of our guys. Just when they come back and they weigh in and they test, conditioning test, that pretty much tells you what their commitment was, how serious they were over the summer. And man, our guys were outstanding. I mean, it was outstanding. Everybody made weigh in, and we had all but one guy who passed the conditioning test, and that's a guy who just started running a week ago, who didn't make it. So that's a credit to our guys. They look good, they're in shape, and they look ready to go.
And then Corey, last two.
Dan, you're a guy that's always comfortable in your own skin, but just what is your comfort level going into season number 2, having been through it once all the way?
Yeah, I am. I do feel more comfortable. You're certainly, once you've been in it a year, I think it's no different than the players. I made that comment about from year 1 to year 2. I think it's the same as a coach. Once you sat in this seat, now I was fortunate in Miami to sit in it just for 12 games, but that was that portion of the season. So what the? No. What's your name? What's your name? Colton. I'm not gonna forget you, Colton. Is that your alarm? You got up early, huh? No, but no, once you've been through it, now you kind of, you know what to look for, you know what's around the corner, and so from that regard, yeah, I do feel more comfortable. The other thing, though, I feel really good about my staff. I really do, and I feel like everything's being covered, and those guys are ready to go, and I've got a lot of confidence in those guys, and I said it always, I'll say it, I'll always say it, doesn't matter. It's the staff makes all the difference, and I feel like I've got a great staff, so that helps me.
Corey, last one.
Dan, just one thing I
That's
see.
3. That's 3. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, one thing
I like you.
One thing I've seen last year is just your intensity and excitement on the field. So just coming into year 2, how has that carried over, and if anything, how has it changed, like as far as preparation for yourself and the coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just try to be me. I've got a lot of energy. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic. I'm just me, and I think that's what comes out of me. So I think that helps those guys. They believe me, I guess, and they feel it, and so they react off of that, and I think it helps, But I don't know any other way than just to say that's just kind of how I am, and those guys, I just said it, play off of me. So, okay, see y'all.